Hello, friends and fellow adventurers. All right, we've got a bit of time here. I'm going to take the advice of making this look a little bit more substantial. So we're going to take this down a little bit. So I've got to figure out exactly how we want to do it, but I think basically just follow this edge and just trim it up, which shouldn't actually take that long. So let's see what we can do if the server doesn't act all crazy. And a lot of this stuff, I might be creating some hollows, we'll see. It's a good chance, in fact. And I don't know how many of the spaces I'll be digging into accidental mines and stuff. I don't think too many. Since there is no point things being able to get at all up here, it does make sense to just take this down. And I think we'll probably do it a couple layers at a time just to get a feel for it. And that's too far. I've gone too far. Okay. And then you. There we go. Yeah, that's going to look good. That's going to add so much more substance to the whole thing. Oh, no, that is too far. Okay, excellent. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty easy project, really. What I love is the idea that you can sometimes do such trivial changes to get such dramatic effects in the end. Like, this is not going to take a lot of effort or resources, really. It's not too bad. I'll keep pushing it down, though, farther. Like this, I could still see going down farther. This might be a plan in phases. Because it's also going to be a pain in the butt at a certain point, I think. There we go. Okay. So, what do we have here? We want to take this down to here. Get rid of that. It's kind of hard to also see exactly, like, which one do I want to get rid of now? Because there's some that I don't need to, like that corner bit there. Don't need to make that look fancy. Oh, there we go. Since we're following the natural contours, the upstairs sort of defines this whole space. This is, to me, this is like, these activities are like when you, in Littlewood or a game like that where you move the whole town around. It has that same kind of quality. I actually don't mind these sort of activities. There's a calming quality to it. It's just like, let's just peacefully do our thing. Okay, next stack, please. Oh, no, that was too much. There we go. So we'll see how that looks. I might even just take this one side down a whole pile just to see how it looks. Because I kind of like what the effect of this is. I don't know if I could blow it all the way to the ground or not. By following the original contour, the one thing I do like is that I wouldn't have designed it like this, and so by sticking with what nature's forcing on me, it's causing a more organic design than I would have gone with, which is, I kind of like that. Sometimes restraints or constraints are good with design. All right, I think I'm going to stop on that part and just continue now here. So, how far can we take this? Again, I don't know if I'm going to run into rock at some point or what, and that might be my stop point, is that it might hit stone, and then that might be like, okay, that's where we stop, or it may just... Yeah, I might smooth it into the stone. We might just take off this layer completely. I don't know. I feel like the server is definitely going to go funky on me with all of this mining. Oh, yeah, no, we're... Okay, so we're almost at stone. Oh, interesting. Ah, it's too much. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, no, we're just be punching holes everywhere. Okay, I'm going to fill some of those holes in because it makes it easier to build. There we go. Okay, back to you. Seems like not holding the shovel down for too long. Giving it a time to like register, hey, there's some dirt missing. I also think this process will make the that underground entrance seem like more have more function, like kind of give it more sense of purpose. Okay, now this stuff we can just blow out. There we go. Getting there. Whoa. I need an enchanted shovel to be doing this. Although, to be honest, I think on this server, it would be like I would end up having a hole halfway through the mountain before I realized it had already done that. And hopefully we can keep the pillagers out too. I'll have to do something with that stairway entrance. I could also be causing grief here with all the players on right now. Oh. Alright, 1, 2, 3. We'll just do it like that. There we go. Alright. That is a lot of dirt. So if we're going to need a dirt project at some point here, that'll be easy enough to do. And then we'll just take this out. What I might do is I might go for these grandiose chunks here and leave some of the other stuff for when we're on the server alone. I don't know if should be able to handle all the people that are on. There's a lot of people bouncing on and off. But it might be not helping. Now we're hitting stone here. So this is good. So it means these lower, as I go lower here onto this slope, shouldn't actually need to excavate that much. The dirt must only be a few layers in. There we go. And now we're hitting the stone. So I don't know if I want to continue to sort of knock it all back until we are out of that again. Wow. Go through the shovels quick. Let's throw this down and we'll see how this looks. We'll take stock. See, that looks kind of cool on the landing onto stone. But it means I need to expose a lot more here. You know, they're looking for a nether fortress or an end fortress? Or end city? I guess nether fortress. I have no idea. I think there was a big campaign on to, you know, quote unquote finish the game the other day. So I think they're all about that. which is funny. Again, I said this before on the last universe we were living in. Is I've never bothered finishing like gone to the end or done any of that stuff. It's funny that there's certain elements of the game were just less appealing to me than others. I think there's great. A lot of the players on here have a great camaraderie with going on these adventures and stuff. And I think the way I grew up playing games, games were a more singular experience when they were multiplayer. Like I grew up playing a lot of Sierra games. Like all of those games are my childhood. All the King's Quest games, Space Quest, all those things, all of them. I think up until the early 90s, really. That it to me is multiplayer gaming, is sitting with somebody and just banging our head against trying to figure out solutions to problems. So it's funny that like I don't get multiplayer gaming in the same way. I don't care for it at all, actually. Like this is about as multiplayer as I want to get. But too much communication and too much thinking and stuff while I'm playing. Playing games to me has always been a kind of meditative experience. It's a calming, like it's just enjoyable. It's relaxing. It's not my social experience. And that's just me. But yeah, it's cool seeing how everyone else plays games and integrates games. I think our kids will have a very different experience of what games are as a social experience than I did. Mine was often not being at the keyboard, even being over at a friend's house playing Sierra games. That's another. There's been way too many games this past year. This year has been, even we've been doing this 5 years. This year has been like absurd. The past maybe 2 has been impossible to keep up with the number of games. Like my backlog is ridiculous of things I would like to do. When I started, I had a nice list of like things I wanted to do. Like I would like to play through, for instance, the Colonel's Bequest. That was one of my more favorite Sierra games. I thought, I'd like to do a series on that. That was one of the few ones we actually got a cheat book on to get through. I think just the very ending, because we couldn't. We banged our head against it so long. So I thought that would be a fun one to sit with for a while. Not that they're not super long games, especially if I'd probably use a guide and just blow through the game and just play it for its story and all that. But they were well done games. All the Roberta Williams stuff. Okay. And if you're old enough to remember, I'm sure you're nodding sagely at some of the fun you had with Roberta Williams games. And if you're young, well, you go check them out on GOG. I think they sell all the Sierra stuff. Some of it does not age well. I can't imagine like Leisure Suit Larry. I would not want to play that now. I think it would be horrendous. It was horrendous then. I'm sure it's like abysmal now. Space Quest was like, I don't know, the humor was kind of stupid at points, but some of it, like Space Quest, I think 4, one of the later ones, probably aged better than some of the early stuff. Some of that style of puzzling and stuff, though, could be really weird. I could imagine to audiences who aren't accustomed to those early text-based games. They're not the easiest things to deal with. But in terms of a bit of, there we are, computer history or games history, they're fantastic to play. Okay, this is looking good. So yeah, I might just bring it right onto the stone here, because at least again it does make more sense. I agree. It looked a little weird. I was glad to get at least the that outside edge sort of done, to get it kind of like just a security perimeter. That was what I was aiming initially. But to give it a proper like fortress-like effect, it definitely needs to be high enough that you can't just sort of stumble over the wall by accident. Oh, you know what? Let's fill this in rather than waste stone on that. There we are. Oh, and I didn't do this. Okay. Yeah, which is funny. I like puzzle games. I don't know that I like recording them, especially. It's hard to record puzzle games. There's ones that involve too much thinking. Like, I enjoy doing them, but it's kind of stressful playing them during Let's Plays, I find. Like, if I don't know I do blind playthroughs. Like, I don't generally have any... Now, I have next to no knowledge often of the game I'll start, and just because it's an enjoyable experience. There we go. That is looking... It's getting there, right? I think it's getting better. Still could go down further, though. Yeah, I think it could still be more impressive. I've got to get the impressive level up. It's just not there yet. As much as I enjoy the puzzle games, though, they're not the easiest to do. So they're the kind of thing I would often play not as a Let's Play. So when I see a game has puzzle elements, I'm often like, I don't know. Games that mix, like Pine was an interesting one because it mixed so many elements together. And it was like I wanted a lot of the elements. I didn't really want the puzzling elements. Not because I don't like puzzling, just because in that circumstance it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but yeah, it's intriguing. I like to see what a lot of contemporary games are trying to do in merging a lot of the genres and going back to some of these older genres. Narrative-based games and things like that as well. So my list of games to do is just absurd. So I unfortunately haven't gotten back to any of the old stuff I would like to do. I'd also like to be doing a lot more audiobook type stuff. I have enjoyed doing that a lot, but I have had a hard time getting that wrangled. And then my audio recorder died, so I kind of changed things up. So I'm going to resolve that soon and make it easier to actually record audiobook type material, not in front of the computer, because that's another thing I'd like to be able to do, is just do it, limit my computer time and do it in another way. Okay, there we are. It feels odd recording audiobooks in front of a computer. Yeah, so I think that is going to work quite nicely. I think I'll take that down, though. We'll trim that up to keep it in line. Yeah. That would be me convincing myself. It's okay there, Block. Stop freaking out. It's all good. I think with some of the narrative games and stuff that I would like to do, the other issue is that some of them are a little bit have been more mature. I think early on with our channel, I was more, because my kids were so much younger, we stuck to just completely family-friendly stuff. And there's a few games I'd like to do that I think now be willing to do and just have a warning that it's a little bit more mature. Like Zachtronics, they're the one they put out, Eliza. Games like that where I think there's a lot I like about those kinds of games. Like, they're not, I'm still opposed to, I don't play violent shooters and things like that. That's not shooters in general, not a genre I like. There is a lot of stuff that is still just a little bit more mature than I would be, have been comfortable with a while ago. But now maybe we're at a point where we can play some of that stuff. Okay, so this is really going to change the slope of this hill. I think that's okay, but I think we're going to, as we come down, we'll end up cutting into a mine or something, probably. I really love my mindless activities in Minecraft. I like building this kind of stuff is probably one of my favorite aspects. To me, I think I've said this before. Like when I go for a walk, I just like a real intense, like, it takes about, 20 minutes to get in the zone. And then just walking is like a form of meditation. I really like it for that. Wow, we are out of space. Okay, let's dump off these flowers. And, well, I don't even have a shovel. I've killed all my shovels. You know what, I think what we'll do is, let's vacuum up what we got here. Oh my gosh. That's, yeah, this is going to look good. So let's take a peek from afar. Whatever I was just saying, I don't know, it just left my head. I left the space I was saying it in, so now it doesn't exist. Okay, let's see how we're looking here. That's looking good. That definitely looks way more fortress-like. Way more imposing. Might make that a little planter of that tree. That's kind of cool. I don't know if that makes the wall look more like, makes the wall look bigger, having trees around the base. I should actually, once I've taken this down, I should plant way more trees all the way around the bottom so it really looks like a forest leading up to this. I think that could look pretty cool. Oh. Alright, let's dump off. Wow. I need a dirt chest now. I have way too much going on here. Okay, let's... So let's get a double chest of dirt. Oh boy, where do I want to put this? I guess... I mean, where else am I going to put it? I suppose I'll put it here. Yeah, I don't know. I guess nothing to be too concerned about. Well, if we need to move it later, we'll move it later. At least I'm keeping it kind of organized. I have been paying no attention to what is going on the server here. Yeah, we'll do like 5 of those. Let's go put that away. Yeah, that's looking good. Good. We have lots of trees. So when I go and do a bunch of tree manufacturing or tree planting, we're going to be nicely in a good place for that. So that's going to work out well. And I do still have a fair amount of cobble. Finished stone, smelted stone. So at least I'll be able to get this side done, I think. The other side's going to be, that's probably going to be a challenge. That's going to be one of those long-term things where I'm just going to nibble at it. But I do also have a lot of cobble. And it's not a problem to get cobble now, because I probably would just log on with the auto mining, the hack client, and just kind of set it tunneling and just mine cobble. Because that's one of those activities I don't care to mine cobble right at the moment. But the mindless activity of doing this is very meditative. It is very, that's what I was getting at. It's very like, it's just, it's grifting 10 diamonds. Oh boy. Oh no. We've got some Jim Thompson stuff here. Somebody's going to get murdered. This isn't going to be good. Oh boy. No, I better go and hide. This is going to be some trouble on the server. No, I think everyone thinks good. Anyway, I hope you've all been enjoying. I hope you're enjoying the improved the shaders and stuff. That it's helped make it look a little bit nicer. The brightness is really bright. I recognize that. If anyone's mentioned that, I'm not sure. I haven't fiddled around enough to get it kind of in the perfect spot. It's also hard to tell between my recording and the actual finished product. I tend to find it's darker, so it looks super bright to me, but it might not look that bright in the end for you. So hopefully it's about the right mix. At any rate, we will see you all next time. Till then, bye-bye.